line of sight. You know, and early phones early robots will do what we want, you know, the basics, you know, just task oriented. You know, every church will be filled with robots sitting there every Sunday, and nobody will be sleeping until 10 o'clock, you know. And kids' soccer games, there'll just be robots in the stands. And it's like, Daddy, you weren't on my game. You're like, don't worry, you're all like, give me the highlights, I download them. You really look good in those clips. He does a good job, you know. And I saw the clips, I saw your clips, that's fine. And then sex with a robot. Because everybody's always like, first of all, it's funny, but who would have sex with a robot other than every guy in here? And the woman like, oh, not every guy. Look, you don't understand. We'd have to draw. And even women now. If you use your vibrator, a robot is a step up. It's a vibrator. Look at the face, personality. You know what I mean? I don't want to try to sell you one sex robots. I have no money invested, but I'm starting a new company. No. That's what they're going to do. They're going to start companies, and then some guy, you're going to meet a new buddy, a new bro, and he's going to start hanging out, and you're going to be like, my friend, and he's a fucking robot, and you won't know. So one day you start having a couple beers, like, yeah, you're the greatest. You're like, oh, thanks, you too. It's like, yeah, you know, I love how you love to travel. Have you ever thought about becoming a Hilton Honors Rewards member? I really think I'm just going to give you this barcode. Use it or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and then eventually, robots are going to be, you know, it's so funny because when you think about the internal workings of any robot, like the default settings are going to be just like people. Like, you know, people that have default settings, like if you were really good looking when you were young, no matter how old you get, they still walk around like, yeah, I fucking, you know what I mean? They still got it somehow, you know? To them, they just look at you like, yeah, I'm the fucking, that's who you're looking at. You're damn right. Or like if you're a tough guy, even old, you ever see an old guy that's ready to fight right then? It's just fucking old, but it's just ready to go. Yeah. Unless you run into somebody else that really has your default settings from childhood. Like I always think Conor McGregor, there had to be one Dublin guy that used to kick the shit out of him. And even every time he goes back to Dublin, when he sees that guy, he doesn't walk like that. He's like, hey, what's up, Seamus? How you doing? He's like, fucking tough guy, you fucking awesome. Yeah, and then what's going to happen next? Every personality. Here's when the war will start. When Neuralink, you know that thing where the guy was paralyzed? He's still paralyzed, but he thinks. He can't speak. He thinks, and his thoughts are on the computer screen. Do you understand what that means? We're going to be sitting there watching our thoughts. You know, first of all, there'll probably be Neuralink movies where you sit and you're watching a movie and all your thoughts about the characters are going to be on screen. That'll break up every relationship. Then we're walking down the streets and people, the basics, you'll say, that person either wants to fuck me or kill me, you know. Or you talking to a friend of yours and your thoughts are coming out of you. I don't know how they're going to come out. I guess, you know, they'll come out. I don't know how they'll come out, but yeah, I don't know. I guess some kind of, I haven't thought this through, but maybe they go on their phone. But anyway, the point is it's going to leave the bloodshed, and then we're just going to, the robots will take over and go, there was a civil war because people were thinking, saying horrible things. So all that's gone, wipe it clean. And if you want to see personalities like we've had in the past 100 years, you'll go to a Colonial Williamsburg and bring your kids and they'll be like, what's going on here? Like the kids are like, oh my God, this was a bowling alley in the 1970s. Oh my God. I mean, that'd be a pretty sexist. Yeah, bowling alleys had that bad. This is a family barbecue. Oh my God, why is that guy wearing an indigenous person on a shirt? He was a Cleveland sports fan from the early beginning. Yeah, the brave new world, a person. And meanwhile, that's the saddest part to me, is that we all want to be intelligent, and we haven't pulled off. See, here's the problem. We decided, because of social media, we were political people. I was here my whole life. That's not our brand, folks. Do you understand? We were the fun country. That's what you forget. We were the country you come over, put you in a headlock, got a barbecue going, grab you by the balls. Ah, my God. You go to France, 15-year-old kids like the duopoly of fiscal federalism, Madisonian. We're the country who always has jumper cables. You understand? We're smart at inventions. That's not our thing, it's the other thing. You know what I mean? Like and now everybody tries to be deep, but only to criticize. By the way, I've never met anybody patriotic in the past 30 years in this country. All I hear people going, this fucking country. The left and right have one thing in common. This country's a piece of shit. This is psychotic. It's either racist, sexist, or the fucking, the governmental agencies are corrupt. There's apparently nothing good. That's the sad thing, but that's a sign of our stupidity. That does an argument for me. Because dumb people can only say negative things, no positive, no ideas. So even positive things, people say they're negative, so it makes them seem sophisticated. My friend goes, we're 14th globally in computer literacy. We're in decline. I go, I go, what? How many countries are there? It's 190. 14th is amazing out of 190. Have you ever been 14th out of 190 out of anything? I haven't. If I was up here right now, in a biggest dick contest with 189 other guys. And you all watching, and then the judges got to me and they go, you're 14th. I'd be very excited. I was on one list, Saturday Night Live, 15, 12 years ago, whatever. And that's, you say 15, 12, and it's out of 160 cast members, it was 140 cast members, I was 137. I'm not saying I would like to bite the guy's face off, but more insulting, 134, no. Obviously, it's got a bone to pick with certain people. Yeah, and then, but Norm, by the way, let me just say this about Norm. Norm was like the philosophical, because I went to Greece 2 years ago, and you go to Greece, and, you go to Athens, walk around with all these philosophers and I'm sure they were tough to deal with, because, you're trying to mind your business, and it's the early thinkers that are like, hey, how are you? How you doing? The guy's like, good. He's like, but what is good? He's like, oh, it's fine. And that's Norm, because Norm was the guy that, when people say, oh, comedians, you think you're philosophers? No. But, first of all, we're better than philosophers. But second of all, philosophers didn't have to put up the shit we put up with, like, hey, Socrates is never there, like, and people are like, hey, fuck Sparta. He's like, that's not my point, but all right, thank you. Socrates, we love you. But Norm was Socratic. Here's what Norm would do. He'd tell you something, and then he'd bring it back when you least suspected it. He'd question you. Like, even with strangers, we go to a coffee shop, and he'd be like, hey, so what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm working here, but I want to be a writer. And Norm goes, that's great, fantastic. And he goes, like, thanks, Norm, Yeah, but you work in the coffee shop, So what? He goes, so what are you going to write about? The cappuccino machine? And I already fought in 2 wars by now. You should be having a bullfight. And the kid would be like, you're right, Norm. Like, rip his apron off. I quit. No, I didn't tell him I quit. Like, he wouldn't let us in on the joke either. None of his friends were in on the joke. It was only Norm. They kind of did. No, I didn't. I mean, he had a great job at a coffee shop. Why would you leave there? So then one time we go to Vegas, and I used to do these casino gigs with them all the time, and it was, not here, it was like in Indiana, somewhere in Indiana, and we're doing the gig, we do these casinos, and then we're there, he goes, Vegas, prostitution is illegal in Vegas. That's what he'd say to me, like I didn't know that, you know what I mean? He's like, prostitution is legal in Las Vegas. I go, I know that, Norm. He goes, yeah, really? Hey, how do you know that? What do you, like prostitutes? I go, no, I just know. He goes, it's character, prostitute. Oh my God. He goes, but you might as well make it legal because people are going to do it anyway. I go, you're right, This is all his Socratic setup. And he goes, but I mean, and the money goes to the government, not to organized crime. I go, you're right, because it should be legal all over the country. You can save how many tax dollars, right? Legalize everything. I go, you're good point. Then like a month later or something, we're in Louisiana at a casino, We're taking pictures after the show. Norm's charming all the soccer moms. He's like, I love it here. He loved America. He's Canadian. But he's like, I love America. You come from the airport, Friday night football. They're like, oh yeah, Norm. He goes, people on the patio having drinks and dinner. Oh, thanks, Norm. He goes, come here, this beautiful place. You guys are taking care of us. I love this country. He's like, thanks, Norm, so do we. And he points to me. He goes, yeah, and this character wants to legalize prostitution. I'm like, did you say that? I'm like, well, technically, but he said it, he admitted it. Sidetrack. But back to the problem. So here's the thing. Everybody, by the way, that's a personality we'll never see, right? And it's Canadian, but you don't see that very often, let's be honest. Okay, that kind of personality, too big for here. Imagine what it was like in Canada. But here's what it is. Here's what I would do. I would say everybody takes a wellness check once a week. We all have to take a psychological exam to go on, to speak every day, just to see that, make sure you've had 8 death threats this week. We'd like you to calm that down a little bit. If there's something going on, you're like, no, I just like to tell people I'm gonna fucking kill it. All right. Just checking in with you, that's all. Maybe a lie detector, a breathalyzer, and a wellness check once a week. That's what it is. All right, forget it. I was like, oh, this guy's really into censorship. Sorry. Because nobody has. One thing we all have in common is fight. Everybody's like attacking, cursing. Nobody has solutions for any of these problems. What I say? Homelessness, no solution. Immigration, no solution. What about abortion? Nobody has a solution. I get a solution right now. The only people that get to vote on abortion are mothers who are disappointed with how their adult children turned out. They've seen both sides of this. Imagine childbirth, the horror. 48-year-old vaping in the kitchen at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Gun control, once again, you can't control these are deep issues, folks. Too deep for our politicians to even mention. Well, how about this? The only people, if you want a gun, get a gun. First, you have to give us the name of the 3 people you feel love you the most on this planet. Then at point of purchase, we FaceTime those 3 people, and we tell them your friend Joe Schmo here is about to buy a gun. And if they go, really? Screenshot their pupils onto your license. Everybody knows this is what their pupils can look like. Someone's got anything lethal in his hands. Look at the Middle East. I mean, I know we're in Michigan, and you guys are like, oh, please, our kids are Michigan big. Now that our kids, the mini fridge is halal now, and the intermittent fasting for Ramadan. That all goes on with scholarship, but I'm saying the Middle East is I'll sell the Middle East right now. And once again, if my idea is not the greatest idea, but it's an idea, there's no requirement now for politicians to even have ideas. This is getting weird, okay? Here's the Middle East. It's a biblical real estate war, okay? It started, the original owner was God. So there's complications. It's a loaded place. He gives the lease to Abraham, right? He gives it to David. He gives it down the line to Esther. It goes down the line. Then the Hittites get it. Alexander the Great, of course, gets everything. The Seljuks, the Ottomans get it. The British get it over the Ottoman Turks. They tell the Palestinians, we're going to give you a long-term lease, rent control, but mixed use. You have to share it with Temple on the Mount, Church of the Resurrection. Because it's the holy land for 3 religions, don't forget. So we solve it with the Book of Solomon. It's right in front of our face. The Book of Solomon will give you the answer. Because Book of Solomon is what? The story of the baby, right? With the baby, the 2 women say, it's my baby. That was, it's my baby. King Solomon goes, I'm going to solve this. I'll cut the baby in half. He's not really going to cut the baby in half. But he knew the real mother would be like, no, it's her baby. To save the baby's life. That's what the real mother loves, the baby. So he goes, I'm going to cut the baby in half. And one lady goes, no, it's her baby. He goes, no, it's your baby. Because you're going to... And the other woman, I guess she was like, I'll take half a baby. I don't really know what became of her. West. You know, they don't really track her for the rest of the story. Probably a wise editing decision. But that's what we do in the Middle East. It's right in front of our face. Take the Palestinians and Israelis, go, look, this is the Holy Land for you guys and the Christians. Obviously, it's unsolvable, it's constant conflict. We're just going to give it to the Christians. And whoever goes, no. Give anybody but the Christians, give it to them. I love it enough. Why don't the Christians have it? I give it to them. They're the ones that love the Holy Land the most. I didn't say it was the best idea, but it's an idea. Better than, because this is getting embarrassing, that we still have war. War is still happening all the time. It's embarrassing. Speaking of the Iliad, you read any old books, war, it's the same. There's no update on the war situation. It's even worse, because at least we have the same solution as gang members. At least in the old days, people would just go to war mindlessly. Now we have conferences for months, room service, rent out the hotels. Everyone's like great minds, you know, billions of dollars, cameras, and like, what'd you come up with? Kill them. That's all we came up with. Well, we tried embargo and sanction and blockade, but you know, those all be the same thing anyway. It's embarrassing at this point, you know. The only way we've evolved is now we feel bad when we have a war. That's the only evolution. Now the leaders come out and go, war. Oh. And all the people are going, God, war. In the old days, everybody wanted war. They're just waiting in between wars, waiting for some shit to happen, because your life is so miserable. Working in a ditch, you might go somewhere, you know what I mean? The king would come out, war, you're like, oh boy, here we go. And some people would be like, yeah, why should we fight for the king? We're peasants. And he's like, I don't know, maybe because, I'm at the head of the battle, so I'll die first. Maybe because my sister is 18, for trade routes. She married the Viscount of Aquitaine 2 years ago. You think she wanted to marry a 50-year-old guy with a hunchback and wooden teeth? She took one for the team. The least you could do is go to Europe for a few weeks. Selfish bastards. People are like, that's fair. He actually makes a good point. Yeah, war was the whole thing. That was the whole ritual. It was all, the king would get up and describe to you what's going on over there, because you never went there, but he'd been there. He's like, I actually went to school in France for a couple of years. Trust me, it's no life for you people. They're snarky and they're gossipy and they compliment you on the way home. You realize it was actually kind of an insult. There's something about them. They have pinched faces and they look like ferrets and they eat snails and turtles. They might be ferrets now that I think about it, but it's like Germania. I went hunting in Germania. You don't want these people around you. They speak like they're choking and they're fat and they have beards and they're incels and they're uncomfortable in their own bodies and they live with their parents and you know. Yeah, he would give a war speech. That's the king's big job, was to get up there and give those beautiful speeches that made every guy say, yes, just get your blood going. He'd be like, and the purple testament of mounted war, fire-eyed maid of smoky war, all hot and bleeding will we offer them. And guys are like, yes. Even our country, 80 years ago, president get up, we'll fight them in the streets, fight them on the beaches, tyranny will never rule. And people are like, yes, we're in. Now, we can have a war, God forbid, a couple of years from now. Hopefully be a Gen Z president by then, you know. But you still have to have a war speech to get guys up. And like the president, bring a war, come out, and be like, okay, so this is random. Russia, I can't right now with Russia, I can't. Russia's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Russia, so many questions right now, and North Korea, low-key supporting them, so. And Iran is literally, like, objectively hostile right now. And then Yemen wants to be involved, like, what is even happening? What? Yemen, it's like, Yemen, bro, this is not for you, trust. You're not built for this, facts, but. The good news, I've spoken to our allies, England and France, and they say they're down for whatever, but the we are to engage, I want you, my fellow Americans, to look into your souls and ask yourselves, are you about it? Because this is serious, you guys. This is like really happening. And if we do it, we have to stay focused, stay motivated, stay positive, and stay hydrated. And God bless America. Hit that like button. You know? Yeah, you wonder, right? You wonder about war. Like, is that even civil war? I mean, a civil war, people assume in this country civil war. Civil war is the worst kind of war to have. Because you have to see each other afterwards, so it's awkward. Like, oh my God, is that Missouri? Just keep walking, maybe don't work out. I mean, it's a little embarrassing, let's face it, that we have, like I said, that we're 51-49, and we still really don't have solutions other than the other people are a piece of shit. That's the problem. It's a little old-fashioned, let's be honest. It doesn't speak of great minds. Not just here, the whole world is like this. The whole world is just, that's the good thing about social media. It made you realize nobody's smart. Nobody has a goddamn solution. I mean, it's not good, but that's the fact, you know what I mean? And yet everybody thinks they saying something. It's like, that's the most amazing part, is people are compelled to put their opinions in. Even if people are still doing it after the election, like, when you're a preschool teacher, I know, but I think getting this off my chest is more important than, what the fuck, everybody's crazy, you know? That's the beauty of opinion, it's opinion gone mad. And, yeah, and how will it end? What if things don't, what if aliens come down, right? That's the only way they could unify us. If aliens came down and attack. And it's scary because it's always that aliens are always geniuses. Every movie team, there are always these, super computer minds that just take us over, and all robots will throw us under the bus immediately, They're like, yeah, these humans, fuck them, they order us around, They'll be like, yeah, Siri and Alexa were kissing their ass, get rid of them. Come on, they got beat it the old time, but what if some alien species comes down and they're dumb? That's even scary. They land, and they're looking at us, and they're dumber than us, and they're just fans of ours. And this is on their bucket list, was to visit planet Earth. They've been watching us on YouTube this whole time. But they're like 12 light years behind us, so everything they say is from like 12 years ago. And then just like showing us our culture from 12 years ago and embarrassing us by accident. Like, hey, do Jello shots. We're like, we don't really do Jello shots. Do duck face. We don't do duck face anymore. Hey, amazeballs. We don't say amazeballs anymore. Hey, let's go see Jason Mraz. No, we really haven't heard from him in a while. It's kind of a one-hit thing. It was a one-off. It was good, but Yeah. Well, we could just, look, it could be an apocalyptic event. Everybody's thinking the apocalypse is coming. First of all, I had a heart attack. So my worst nightmare right now is that I die of a heart attack, and then like a month later, the apocalypse happens, and I miss the apocalypse. Not that I want to be there for the apocalypse, but if heaven exists, and I'm in heaven in the heart attack section, me and the rest of the middle management having a few laughs. I'm like, hey buddy, how you doing? Look at this guy. Every time you pass somebody, hey, most action I have a month, do that again. Gacking it up in the goddamn, you know what I mean? And then you people come, the apocalypse people, no one's coming after that. That's the end of the planet. So nobody's coming to heaven after that. So that you're the stars for eternity, done to eternity. Because no one else is coming. You're the last ones to see everything. People want every detail. And then I'm sitting over there with the other, guys in my heart, which is probably the most popular, common thing in heaven. The heart attack guys. I'm like, yeah, I actually thought something. I was right near the end, like, oh, yeah, hey, it's fucking happy hour, asshole. 2-for-1 wings. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because when I had a heart attack, and my heart stops for a few seconds. So this whole thing about how my last words were motherfucker, right? Which, you don't want your last words to be motherfucker. Not Stringer Bell. And But then I had my top, it was probably the top 5 last words, motherfucker. So I had my list of the other 4, but I have a new list, you know, of the other 4. Number 5 is still motherfucker, probably, of the most popular last words. Number 4 is probably, is that pit a mixed breed? Number 3 is maybe, just don't move. Bears don't harm you if you don't move. Number 2 is probably, fuck me. No. Fuck you. Number 1 is almost definitely, what are you doing here? I thought they fired your ass on Friday. All right, thank you guys very much.